There's a land of milk and honey far across the salty sea. Such a land of gold and money, all my life I guarantee that if you sail there you can get your share if you'll share your share with me. To the land of milk and honey far across the salty sea. Ah, warriors, very nice. There's a land of wealth and wonder far across that distant shore. Sights to see and wealth to plunder, you couldn't ask for more. And if you sail there you can have your share if you half your share with me. To the land of milk and honey far across the salty sea. And the honey it is runny cause the weather is so sunny, it will trickle to the bottom from the top, down from me onto you and the rest of the crew. What a profitable venture it will be, it'll be. What a proper little venture it will be. Ta-na-na-na-na, captain of the seas, the man to lead. Ta-na-na, we'll brave their waters, eye to eye with the treacherous seas. Ta-na-na, we'll fight together, get the riches to bring back home. Oh mama, your son is gone, I'll return as a rich man. I'll return as the captain said. I'll return as the captain said. I'll return as the captain said. Some people get to be captains, others get to be mates. Some people get to be the crew, then there's you, lumbered with hauling the weight. Some people get to make choices, others get to have wealth. Some people get to have voices, you might as well talk to yourselves. Some people gotta pick cotton, some people gotta pick corn. Some people gotta wear chains and be slaves, each to the role they were born. Some people get to be monarchs, others get to be lords. Some get to be clansmen and vassals, each one chained by the gold of a sword. As the wheels turn round, profit will be found, turning pennies into pounds you'll see. Losses may abound, but when cargo's found, we can profit out of something that is free, that is free. We can profit out of something that is free. As the wheels turn round, it will crush us to the ground, as our forefathers found, as did we. And the dark cold calls that if we don't go, someone else has got to go instead of we. Instead of we, someone else has got to go instead of we. Sights to see on the sea. Come with me, sail the sea, and you'll see freedom. Come with me, sail the sea. Sights to see on the sea. Come with me, sail the sea. And you'll see freedom. Oh, 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 yeah, Bafana, Nancy Pingene Tini Nancy Pingene Tini Welele Bafana, Nancy Pingene Tini We Siakola Usu Siakola Siakola Bafana, Nancy Pingene Tini We Nancy Pingene Tini Welele Bafana, Nancy Pingene Tini We. How we
Lohle no phaphe ekhanda lamenzi bahlulwe lento ethomemesayo bathi igula lajama lichithekile lichithwe engqole ndala kwisigoma landela awe lo wesu.
Listen.
Ladies, attention. The meeting of the Ladies Emancipation League is to order. Mrs. Wiggum is in the chair and Mrs. Brown taking the minutes. Thank you. We're going to begin with the account of last week's events. I'm sure I speak for all of us here when I say there are few moments more thrilling than being in the company of Mr. Frederick Douglass. It was a thrilling moment for us both. We were honoured by his presence. Yes, I know, Mrs. Thompson, that you couldn't make the meeting, but if your sister will insist on having a baby at that time, it's really not the responsibility of the Ladies' Emancipation Society. Isn't that correct, Mrs. Brown? The newspaper accounts were glowing, sisters, and I am very pleased. At last the press are beginning to see our point of view. This is from the Edinburgh Evening Post, May the 1st, 1846, when he met with us in the Waterloo Rooms. One of the smaller rooms was crowded to excess. Mr. Wiggum again occupied the chair. Mr. Thompson and Mr. Douglas addressed the meeting. At the conclusion of their speeches, a resolution was proposed and carried unanimously. We were there, we witnessed it, pledging the society to renewed exertions and expressive of earnest sympathy with the friends from America and their co-adjudicators on the other side of the Atlantic. A list of names was then taken down of ladies volunteering to furnish contributions to the next bazaar to the Boston Ladies Anti-Slavery Society. Did you get those names, Mrs. Brown? Marvellous. The report goes on to say, Mr. Douglas especially enchained the attention of his audience, according to the report, alternately humorous and grave, argumentative and declamatory, lively and pathetic. None who ever heard him will ever forget the impression, and we never shall. At the music hall later that day, the press state Mr. Douglas delivered a long and eloquent address. None who heard the withering castigation bestowed by Mr. Douglas on the Reverend Mr. Macnaghten of Paisley, who had branded him as a miserable and ignorant fugitive slave, will ever forget it. Mr. Buffon made a short but effective speech, but there, that's Mr. Buffon for you. Now, ladies, the battle continues. We drove slave sugar from the bowls of our tables. We shall drive the money away from the free kirk, and we shall drive slavery from the face of the earth. Now, time for tea, I think, Mrs. Brown. Thank you, ladies.
You see this ship here in the harbour?
Aye.
First, they're glad to disembark we. Ooh. But let me tell you a little something about my life.
Oh, lovely.
My father, his name is John Wells.
Fine name.
He took a ship like this one, and he leaves Scotland. He take a ship across the ocean. Lord knows how many persons from Africa you see perish along the way.
Oh.
May the good Lord see their rest in eternal peace. He was a clerk, pushing paper, and he get a job on my tiny, beautiful island of Carriacou. My name, you say?
Aye, what's your name then?
My name? Malvina Wells.
Malvina Wells.
Malvina Wells. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Lovely to meet you too. My name's Shona McWee.
Shona McQueen?
Shona McQuee.
Shona McQueen.
Aye.
Good to meet you. Well, do excuse me while I catch up here on months of news, months of news in Scotland.
Oh, there's been lots going on. Oh, there's the usual, the riots, the folk are angry. I blame the cold myself. Oof.
It's
What's
cold,
the name
all
of
right.
that?
It's cold, all right. Well, I'll say it again. I'll say it again for you, because although it's Scottish people who own almost all the entirety of the island, it come like people here never did know of it. Yes, I'll say it again for you. Slowly this time. Carriacou.
Carriacou.
That's good. That's good.
Tinga.
You know Tinga?
Kariaku.
And maybe you hear Grenada already.
Oh,
Well, just next door in the West Indies.
the rum and the sugar.
Right, that's
the
right.
West Indies.
Exactly. Well, but before you get any ideas that I was living in luxury, I certainly was not. I grew with my mother Anne on the plantation of Grand Bay. Cotton, sugar cane, and that hot sun.
Hard work, both of them. Hard work.
That's what I remember. And limes, though. Limes, the smell of limes, the smell of the sea.
Oh, a lime. Beautiful smell. Smelt it once or twice.
Well, the first time I ever get on a ship to come here, I was 13 years of age, you know. I had these two girls, Dorothea and Jessadora, to take care of. Miss Jessie just lose her husband to yellow fever, that terrible disease.
Oh, bless. Oh.
I've been in and out of that family, taking care of them children for more than 40 years now, you know. Tired now, we are tired.
Childcare is hard work.
And this cold, damp in this place. You get all in your bones. It creep right into the middle of your bones.
There's no denying that the ache in your body with the cold that you get here.
That's why I go home for a while, you know. Yes, I go home, you know, and I soak up some hot sun. I bathe in that warm blue sea. Blue like you poor people can't even imagine.
It's pretty grey the day, that's for sure.
I take out my paints and my brushes when I was there, though, just to capture a little memory to bring home, to last me.
You're a painter?
I'm a painter.
Oh.
I am indeed. My sister Frances, though, she bawled when I leave. She bawled for a second time. The children grow so pretty and nice, though. I even see the newspaper boy who'd been sending me the St. George's Chronicle to Scotland so I could read what's been going on in the place. But yes, I was saying, yes, a painter. Yes, I am. That's what I like to do in my spare time when the family is calling me back to yet another child, more children, another big house full of people. I paint all over Scotland, you know. Yes.
Fancy.
And I've been saving my money. Ladies' maids, yes, ladies' maid childminder, but they have to pay me now, not like before. I get so good at my job. What didn't it say? Your name you said? Shona, yes, Shona. Well, Shona, I get so good at my job. I was the head of 7 of our servants. Getting, you know, these young Scottish girls from country, they're difficult. It's difficult.
Oh, they're stroppy. Oh, the young folk these days, oof, my word.
Getting them ready for work. And I promised my sister I'd go leave whatever I can for them when they're dead and not gone. The trip this time, though, on this ship here, well, not like before. This sailor man, then, well, they're more respectful this time, respectful. Well, we're still drunk, still groggy on rum and a bit rough around the edges, you expect that, but respectful.
Oh, that's nice.
Back home, you know, we have a whole village of Scottish people. Winwood, they call it. Winwood, yes. I hear a whole 200 men come from Glasgow on a ship well before I was born in 1804.
Glasgow?
Glasgow, they say. A whole boatload of men who know how to make boat real good.
Ships. Clyde's famous for that.
Aye. And sometimes I would go to Winwood just to hear them sing their songs in their Scottish tongue. They were still there this time when I go back. Yeah, and this time with Scottish wives, children, McQuilkin, McDonnell, McLawrence, McFarlane, whole village.
A whole wee Scotland over there.
That's right. But can you hear the men still singing?
It's your sailor lads.
Oh, they sing all the way over. But there's nothing so beautiful as our music back home. The sound of the drum, the fiddle on the top. They make me dance when I go home, you know, they make me dance. In my old age, I try to tell them, no, I'm not accustomed no more.
Away, look at you. I'm sure you can dance a fine step.
Well, they beat the drum, and my body just starts to move. I find myself in that ring. I couldn't help it. Well, yes, Papa. Now, Shona, you know, they wet the ground. They wet the ground with rum for the ancestors. You know, we people do that.
You pour the rum on the ground?
That's right, before we dance. And every time I see them say, the man, they're throwing rum on deck because they're drunk and their hands slip. And I think of our old people back home. And even the lime they're sucking on. Even the lime they're sucking on to come home, keeping them from sickness. That even come from my homeland. Them same lime follow us on the ship. God bless their souls. God bless all of us. Oh, look. My carriage come already and my carriage reach. Yes, I could go home and get out of this cold. You better get out of this cold too.
Aye, so are you going up the town then?
That's right. Well, it was very good to meet you, Shona.
Lovely to meet you.
I'll see you around.
See you too. Away up to Thistle Street and get warm.
Thank you.
Oh, you know, there is never a minute when you're a housekeeper in a house of this size of this establishment. I mean, I said last Hogmanay, 1726, I said, last year was a good year for you in the Maester. Why don't you get yourself a few extra maids around the place? Give me a hand with the cleaning and the dusting. But you know, she just laughed. She just laughed. Mind you, I get a few minutes to myself now and again, and Mr. Arbuthnot, he comes down with a dish of tea and we have a wee minute, and sometimes he reads me the paper. And he read me this advert. He read, wait you hear this. He read me this advert. I've got it right here, he says. It was in the Courant. Runaway on the 7th instant from Dr. Gustavus Brown's lodgings in Glasgow. A Negro woman named Anne, being about 18 years of age, with a green gown and a brass collar about her neck, on which are engraved these words: Gustavus Brown in Dalkeith, his Negro, 1726. Whoever apprehends her, so as she may be recovered, shall have 2 guineas reward and necessary charges allowed by Lawrence Dunwoody, junior merchant in Glasgow, or by James Mitchelson, jeweller in Edinburgh. I mean, it's Glasgow. Like, I mean, she could be here by now. And I said, that was a good few weeks ago, you know. And I thought, 2 guineas. And he says, that's a fair amount of money. And then, you know, I just found myself thinking about that wee girl all night, you know, because you remember the weather back at that time. It was terrible. Right. And the roads were impassable, the rain and the cold and the wind. And she's only got a green gown, and I thought she must have been freezing cold, a wee 18-year-old lassie out in the weather. What's she doing out in weather like that?
What do you think? What do you think she's trying to run away from?
Do you not think she might have just wandered off then?
Did you not read the word collar?
Oh, aye. You mean like a wee dog?
Would you want to have a collar around your neck?
Well, no.
Would you want to have to run away in the middle of the night in the wind and the rain?
No.
You don't think what she's running away from and what she's trying to run to?
Oh, I just thought that she was just, you know, all right. Oh, would you care for some more tea?